Before I get started with this video, today is September 9th as of the recording, right? And I just want to give a huge shout out to all of the harem fans out there because it's her birthday. Shout out to you guys. And you know, hell, shout out to the Mai and to the Kurumi fans as well because Suntember, everybody. It's sort of like this thing that I made up where, you know, it's three sundares of the Rentarou family whose birthdays are being celebrated in the month of September. So, September. Anyway, what makes, or one of the aspects rather, that makes Hyakuno, this story, so very interesting and so fun to watch as well is how it reinvents the concept of a harem, right? Where instead of going for a story of which all of the girls are competing with one another, instead the family, the girls, the girlfriends here in this story are all very well synergized with one another, of which they really made strong connections with, you know, everyone around them, right? And although yes, there are of course some stories and some moments of which, you know, they would have conflicts and such, right? But of course they would work each other out because of their, you know, their finding common interest and common ground, especially towards their love for Rentarou, the protagonist, right? But what I especially love about Hyakuno, right, considering that we already have 30 girlfriends as of the recording of this video as well, where the latest girlfriend is Saki, right, the delinquent girlfriend who loves to be called a senpai, right? Saki, and like many other girlfriends as well, even though she is someone new, we can still also find a way of which this girlfriend or Saki can also connect or find common interests with other girlfriends. Heck, I've even made a video about a year ago or so, right, where I essentially mapped out, right, all of the members of the Rentarou family during that time and made a sort of web map, right, where I connected the sort of interactions between the girlfriends. Or for example, Hakuri, who is known to also interacted with Karne, with Hahari, with Yamame, so on and so forth, right? So essentially I mapped out again the interactions of the girlfriends that they have with one another, right? Whether it would be common interest or essentially chapters where they have, you know, bonded together. And it looked something like this. Forgive me, it was quite some time. Just from this graph alone, right, all of these girlfriends clearly are interconnected with one another, right? And of course, even more so now that more chapters have passed since the time I've made that. Think about it in this way, for example, right? So you have the athletic type of girlfriends. You have Eira who does capoeira, you have Iko who does baseball, Kishika who practices kendo, and so on and so forth. And even Mimi, if you count her to be, you know, someone who loves to run and jog, right? That's something athletic or sporty like, right? But not to the same level of degree as, you know, capoeira practitioner or even kendo or baseball, right? Then you also have, yeah, again, following the sample of Mimimi, right? She also has this sort of pristine, high-class girl aura, which we can also see a common aspect of that towards Rin and Hakuri. And speaking of Rin, right, because of her love for music, she also, in instruments as well, she can also be well paired off with girlfriends like Kiki, who is an idol singer, and Uto, who is a, well, who loves to play the ocarina. But though, you know, let's just, you know, let it be that way. And these pairings also doesn't necessarily mean that the girlfriends need to have a common interest just what's on the outside, right? And what I mean by that is, for example, when you look at Iku, the first thing we come off or that comes to our mind towards her personality, right, is of course that she is a masochist, but she's also a baseball player, right? But more than just being a baseball player, right, as one of her main unique defining traits is that she also has other hobbies, right, such as playing video games on her spare time. And so hobbies can also be a means of finding common interests with the other girlfriends. A good example would be, okay, Mei and Mai, right? Both of them are maids of the Hanazono household, right? But Mai also has a love for shoujo manga and a lot of really, you know, shoujo-like things, of which she also shares a common interest of liking the same book with that of Shizuka. we can really see these examples come true, especially during the daily life of the girlfriends type of chapter, where we take a look into, well, the daily life of what the girlfriends are up to, right? Because we also get to see again another side to them, right? And from chapters like that, and even throughout the series, right, the more that these girlfriends interact with one another, the more this bond, this shared bond that they have with one another becomes stronger, right? It's truly a beautiful, concept to have from this harem series, that each and every one of these girls are interconnected, are connected with one another through a bond that's, aside from just being a fellow girlfriend of Rentaro, they really love to stick with around each other because they really do love, well, one another. Nano has said it best, and to sort of paraphrase what she just said, yeah, it's exactly that. I don't stay with you guys because I feel obligated as Rentaro's girlfriend, but rather I stay with you guys because I love you guys. That's pretty sweet. That sort of essence is what really holds this family and this series overall to be such a strong story filled with these amazing characters that really just make it work so good. That being said, thank you for listening, family, and take care.